From the Hill newspaper, Alexander Bolton. You ready for this one? Republicans in Congress are worried that the Supreme Court will hand them a major headache this month if it rules against the federal health insurance exchanges in more than 30 states, ending subsidies for millions of people. The Republicans are worried if we win. The Republicans are worried if the Supreme Court upholds the Constitution and the rule of law. The Republicans are worried, ladies and gentlemen. Does it get any sicker than this? While the Affordable Care Act remains broadly unpopular, two new polls, see these are timed media and think tank and university polls. Two new polls show a majority of Americans don't want to do away with its subsidies, a core component of the law. Majority of Americans don't know how to pick. Never mind. It must be those stupid Americans, we call them Democrats, who can't find driver's licenses, and suddenly they know all about the Affordable Care Act. Isn't it amazing, folks? This poses a conundrum for Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Speaker John Boehner. You know, life's daily pressures pose a conundrum to these two men. They're under pressure from colleagues up for re-election in swing states and districts to extend the subsidies, at least temporarily, if the court strikes them down. But doing so would risk a backlash from the conservative base. So now it's only the conservative base that believes in the Constitution and a functioning health care system? It's the wingers out there, you know, the crazies, the knuckle draggers. They have a problem with Obamacare. Everybody else is okay with it. So McConnell and Boehner don't know what to do. McConnell and Boehner don't know what to do if the Supreme Court actually does the right thing. And the court will hand down its decision by the end of June. But it could strip 6.4 million people of health insurance subsidies. Well, Obama stripped tens of millions of people of their health insurance without the subsidies. It's not in the Hill article, is it, Alexander Bolton, pretend journalist? Now, the states that would be hardest hit by a ruling against the law include the Senate battleground states. Yes, Illinois, North Carolina, Ohio, and Wisconsin. And by the way, that's all McConnell cares about. He doesn't actually care what the hell the Senate gets done as long as they keep voting on stuff. Hey, look at this. I saw him on Fox earlier today in his usual charismatic self. Anyway, and there he is. There he is talking about we've had more votes. The Senate is actually functioning as they vote on Obama's agenda to pass it, to surrender the treaty provision of the Constitution, to surrender the power of the purse. What else does he want? We can get bipartisan support. As long as we can get 90% of the Democrats, then we'll just get, it's like Boehner, the idiot in the House. The politics of the King versus Burwell case, that's the name of the lawsuit, are extremely treacherous and tricky for Republicans. Because if the subsidies are thrown out by the court, Republicans are in the position of having to create a fix that would be seen as a problem by their most conservative supporters. May I ask you a question? Why doesn't Obama come up with a fix? The fact of the matter is most of these subsidies are probably going to Democrats. I'm just telling you the truth. Let Obama come up with a fix. I've got a fix. Well, we've got Orrin Hatch working on it. Orrin's working on the fix night and day and night. And I'm sure he's working with that intrepid Bob Corker. Oh, yeah, he's got a fix, too. What other part of the Constitution can we eviscerate? Oh, they're up there doing all kinds of fixes. I've got a great fix. You know what it's called? We haven't tried it in a very, very long time. It's called the free market. That's right. It's called let's create competition. Let's create customized insurance plans that people actually want. Let's try actual insurance for a change. We throw around that word, but we really don't do it. Let's have all kinds of competition to drive down costs. Let's stop ripping off young people who we expect to subsidize everything. Let's actually do these things. You know, we are conservatives. Do we only believe in conservatism as a matter of theory? No, let's put it to work, because it does work. Oh, no. The Republicans are worried. There's a chance Republicans will get more of the blame because they're in control of the House and Senate, unless they can produce legislation. The blame will rest in their corner, says Darrell West, Director of Governance Studies at the left-wing Brookings Institute. Democrats feel confident Republicans will be on the losing end if the court strikes it. Do you believe this? I'm telling you, this is why the Republican Congress took no real effective budgetary steps, which it could have done without a supermajority, through the reconciliation process to defund at least 85% of Obamacare. That's what Paul Ryan told us on this program several years ago. That could be done, and they would do it. That's what he said, and they haven't done it. They were never going to do it. Now they're afraid that the Supreme Court may actually uphold the Constitution, uphold the actual statute, stop the administration from cheating and lying. What are we going to do? We're going to get blamed. This is not my Republican Party. This needs to be replaced with a new Republican Party, with leaders, with men and women who really know what they're doing, who have some principles, who are concerned about the future of the country, not their incumbency, who are concerned about our healthcare system being nationalized, monopolized, being destroyed by Obama and the rest. This should be a blessing if the Supreme Court rules the way it should rule. A blessing, not just for Republicans, but for the American people. How much more are we going to spend on programs that provide subsidies to people who say they can't afford things? How much more? 26 cents out of every dollar of the average state budget goes to Medicaid. The vast majority of Medicaid is supposed to go to poor people. So what has the federal government done under Obamacare? It has redefined poor people to include 138% of the poverty level. So Medicaid is exploding. It's out of control. It's going to go broke. Kasich expanded it in Ohio. Chris Christie expanded it in New Jersey. Hey, they have executive experience. Sandoval in Nevada. Martinez in New Mexico. Hey, they're the future. They couldn't say no, I guess. And they wouldn't say no. So you see, the Republicans have a problem with this. Not the Democrats, not the liberals, the Republicans. And we all know it's always about politics, not about what's right, not about what works, not about liberty, not about competition, not about free market capitalism. No, no, no. That's why you do not hear a full-throated argument from the Republican side and many of its surrogates in the so-called conservative media urging the Supreme Court to do the right thing because, oh, what is the right thing now? We're so confused. Oh, if they strike that down, what are we going to do about these 6 million people? We aren't going to do anything. They need to take care of themselves. We need to create an environment where we have competitive health care policies, more insurance companies at the local, state, and federal level, and then they will help fill the gap. Seems so logical, doesn't it?